This is Ross from Retro Dream Beam. I'm an eBay seller full time. I've been doing this with my fiance Annetta for a couple years now. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm about to go into what we were shipping out today on Wednesday, so it's like kind of like still an okay day. I haven't actually looked at the numbers. I've just been like busy listing and doing other stuff. We also did like something for Annetta's birthday yesterday, so yeah, we went and ate some good food. All right, so the first thing that sold is going to be a Japanese game. We have to use my phone right now to record, so I basically had to pre-write down the prices. I don't remember the name of this game because it's all in Japanese. This is the second time I've either sold this or I know I've listed a sealed copy before. This particular game is complete. I do really well with foreign games. This game sold for $29.99 plus shipping. Everything's going to be plus shipping, so I'll go ahead and save us some time right now. All right, next up is going to be some Monster Apocalypse. This is like a lot of 3 elementals. These are cool because this game was from Privateer Press. They would have like a collectible booster packs that you would purchase, and then they had like different expansions until they eventually canceled the game, and then they try to make it a miniature game where you build them with metal bits and pieces. That's where I think the game is now, or I think Steamforge Games actually bought the license now, so it's actually, I don't know where it's at right now. But these particular elementals, there weren't too many of this faction, so I think they sell for a little bit more. These sold for $11.24. So yeah, I remember like the ninja robots, I remember like the dinosaurs and the aliens. There's a bunch of different factions. So yeah, I never got like super far into the game. I just played like the first series or two. When I would see it at Gen Con, I would buy some booster packs. I just thought they were cool. So yeah, $11.24 for like a set of 3. Those were from a big box at auction. I think the box was $11. I think that was like the starting bid was 10, and then I had one at 11. I knew that people would eventually pick up Monster Apocalypse stuff. I think this is like the 3rd or 4th thing I sold from that box. It was a good amount of stuff, which is pretty good. All right, moving on, we have a Matchbox right here. This is going to be a Harley-Davidson little truck. No, sorry, it's a big bulldozer, number 12. I actually am too young to like realize that Matchbox actually came in these particular boxes. So yeah, so it's cool when I got this. This was not from our most recent purchase from all of the like little cars and die-cast cars and stuff like that. This was from an auction a bit ago, like an online one. This sold for $22.50, which is pretty cool. I think I got more money because of the box. I'm taking a guess because it looks pretty cool. I wasn't even aware that that's how they came. I just remember like Hot Wheels coming in like the, I want to call them like clamshells. It's like the cardboard and then like the plastic on top. All right, moving along, we have a Florida traveling map right here. This particular map, I think we've actually sold before. This is my second one. I get a bunch of these maps, or we used to get a bunch in the past. Yeah, so maybe someone wants to see like what Florida looked like. I don't have the dates anywhere because I don't have my phone. But yeah, someone might want to just actually see like what Florida looked like, especially with all like the hurricanes and stuff like that. Maybe someone just wants the history of Florida and look at it. People buy brochures for a bunch of reasons. They do collect them. Easy to find kind of at estate sales. We just haven't found any recently. So I haven't been able to list any because I've listed almost all mine. This sold for $12.75. All right, next up is Necromunda, which is going to be like a Warhammer, I think like a side way to play the game. I'm actually not 100% sure. These are going to be miniature bases. There's 9 of them instead of 10. I made a note. These are for 25mm. They just have like a bunch of little metal like bits and pieces on the bottom where they're going to put their figures, and then they get to paint the bases rather than just like a blank gray base. It gives it like texture and gives it more like story and depth. But yeah, I think this is like their skirmish game. Like I said, I don't know too much about it. I do know that people like this, so I think you have less figures and you're playing in like a futuristic kind of like 2 foot by 2 foot area, I think, and you'll have like building terrain and stuff like that. People make it look real cool. So these sold for $8. They're just like bases, but yeah, this was like an incomplete pack, so that's still pretty good. All right, moving along, we have a 1957 Chevrolet police car. This is from a bunch of little cars and bits we got recently from a storage unit flipper. This thing sold for, let's see, $17.99. So the cars in that purchase is doing a lot better than I thought because I was kind of feeling iffy about it when we got home. But I'm convinced now. We're not in the profit yet, but I'm a third through listing everything, and we're getting up there. I'm keeping track of it, but I just keep track of it every Sunday. All right, next up, it's going to be an RPG little book. This is FASFA. Used for Traveler Adventure Class Ships Volume 1 right here. I don't know too much about this other than we've sold this particular like sci-fi RPG books too. This is just going to talk about some of their ships. So it does look pretty cool. It has like little outlines and it's going to have information. It's a little booklet. This one sold for $18, which is pretty good for like our RPG stuff. That's usually what we get for something like that that's not super rare. All right, next up is Giganto the Mole. This is a colossal figure in HeroClix right here. So yeah, he's actually super massive. It's kind of ridiculous. Sometimes HeroClix goes like really far because like I think it takes up, I want to say 6 squares with this bottom base. This is like you actually just plug them on. You can play them at different point values. The game is based on point value, so like you can play them, let me see, you can play them at 400, 300, 200, and 100. From my memory, from 2011 to 2013, in general, you would play 300 points for HeroClix. That's like the tournament setting, so you can literally put him at 100 points. They're generally weaker. They start lower on their dial, which means they just have less health, less stats, and less abilities usually. Every character's different. Like Hulk gets stronger as he gets hit more. So yeah, there's a lot of nuance to all the like the dials and where they start at. But yeah, this colossal figure, like I said, it's kind of ridiculous. Some sets they just have where like they have the small booster packs you can buy, and then you can usually get like a big one. And this guy I think was kind of obvious because like you can pick up the big pack and be like, oh, this is the one that weighs the most. So it's kind of awkward for people buying it because like you accidentally weigh it in your hand when you grab it, and then you kind of know what you're getting. And then if these, I don't remember the price of these, but if they were like $10, $20, or $30 and you knew he was a less worthwhile figure, it'd be awkward. That's why usually people buy like bricks. It's the equivalent of a box. It looks like a big brick and sealed up. All right, I'll move along. That sold for $14.99. I got that auction for big box of HeroClix for like $8. People really don't care that much about HeroClix when I'm out in the wild. I know the stuff sells. It sells slowly sometimes. I'm still okay with it. All right, next up is going to be a Root RPG book right here. This is normally a board game. Anthropomorphic animals you're playing. You're like fighting over a village, or sorry, like a forest in the board game. You can play different factions. You have so many expansions, so many different maps. But yeah, they eventually made an RPG, I want to say 1 or 2, maybe 3 years ago. It's been a while. I'm not like a super fan of the board game, which is kind of weird for me because I normally like this kind of art style. I just thought it was the mechanics of the game were just kind of, it's asymmetric, so every faction has its own rules, and I felt like it was just like one of those games where I get bogged down in the rules, and it just kind of ruins my enjoyment when I see like rules being broken or rules being kind of complicated when they interact with each other. But this is the role-playing game book. This is like a free RPG day one. I don't think I had another one of this, so this was my last one. I got $6.75 for this, so it's pretty cool. A bunch about Root. All right, next up is going to be 4 bases. I thought I was going to have to scroll on my phone right here. It's my notepad. Oh, that was silly. All right, these are a lot of 4 just standy bases. These are black, and I think they are like 3/4 inch or 7/8 of an inch. So these things are very important because these are kind of hard to find for people that want to put their little RPG miniatures that are standees, not actually like plastic or metal or resin miniatures. Sometimes they just want to like those like just literally cardboard things that you plug in, and finding the bases is kind of hard for those. So I was aware of that. So for these 4 small bases, I got $7.19. If I had more of these bases, I get more money from selling bulk lots because there might be like a dungeon master who they have a bunch of like cheap skeletons. They either don't want to paint, they don't want to put miniatures, they want to make it quick, and they go like, oh, I have these skeleton cardboard figures, and then they need bases, and then you can sell the bases for good money. All right, next up is going to be a really cool sale. This is going to be 5 binders for Legends of the 5 Rings. All right, right here. Yeah, I'll probably put her down. Our cat doesn't like the noises of me moving the big box. She's been like jumpy. All right. Give me a second to pull these out. So I just started listening to Legends of the 5 Rings lore here on YouTube from like just other random people. I wanted to learn more about it, but this is the Ratling versus Shadowlands. There are 7 different factions in this particular world. There's a lot of different like old card games, new card games by like different companies. These are by AEG. So right there, this is the Scorpion versus Unicorn. I don't remember much about these particular factions. I think the Shadowlands are going to be like a faction that's like kind of like beyond the walls of this particular country or realm, and the Shadowlands are always being in check by, I think it was either the Crab, yeah, this is Crab versus Mantis. So these are all the factions. They always have like strife with each other. They were all trying to appease the Emperor. I think the Crabs are the ones that they chill out at the wall, and they're basically making sure that the Shadowlings and the evil like whatever monsters don't come in. But of course, there's like actually magic in this particular realm. Sorry, these are slippery. I'm having trouble with it. So yeah, there's different ways that these like monsters and these shadow creatures enter. This is the Crane versus Lion right here. I did listen to stuff about the cranes and the lions, and they have like a bunch of like, they're always trying to ally with each other, but then they keep kind of murdering each other's leaders when they're doing like dumb stuff. I think the cranes, there was like some lady that was forced to shoot a lion general that was just kind of like barging into their city. She didn't want to do it, but she had to do it, and that caused issue with the lions. And then like that person's brother apparently still wanted peace with the cranes. So like I just started diving into this, and it's really hard to focus on lore when I'm listening, so I can't listen to it too much. I just like occasionally do it. There's a bunch. I'm just telling you like a very brief overview of what I've been listening to. And this is the dragon versus the phoenix. I think the Phoenix clan is the most powerful with the magic in the world, but I think they have a bunch of, like, I think they consider them cult people within their own clan that are kind of trying to be different or like rebel against their own clan, so they have like the most amount of internal strife, and it's over like magic and how it's like used and when they can use it and stuff like that. So yeah, that's the brief like overview, but really cool that I started digging into it. I have to like find more lore that I can listen to, because I was just kind of picking random videos. But yeah, these 5 binders sold for $56, which is pretty cool. I got more of these. I think I spent like, depending on where I got these, sorry, I find these binders at different places, so I'm not sure if they were like the ones where I paid like 50 cents or a quarter for, or if they were the ones where I paid like $1.75, because I did get some at auction, but then I also found these before. So yeah, a whole lot of them for 56 is pretty good. These are really cool. The worst part is going to be the shipping, but it's going to be this box right here. I don't know if it's in frame. All right, the last thing that sold is going to be lower to the ground, lower sale. This is going to be a Muffy Vanderbear little white polo t-shirt. I already wrapped it up a little bit. This is going to be for a little Teddy, so yeah, we sell wholesome stuff like this too. We do pretty well with this stuff. I think when Annetta finds it in like auctions, estate sales, yard sales, you can kind of find this stuff all over the place. She has a really good eye for it, so she generally knows which stuff is going to be like not do well on eBay versus the ones that do. This is only $4.72, but honestly I had a bunch of this stuff, so I was just like listing it. Sometimes I like group them up if it's like a similar outfit. This particular one was like the last one I was listing for the day, so I was like, okay, this one, not sure, I'm just going to list it by itself. Like, yeah, it's okay, this is going to probably go in like a blue bag or a poly mailer or something like that, which is pretty cute. Alright, so that's everything for today on Wednesday. I hope there's like more stuff coming up for the weekend. It's the middle of the week, and it seems like slightly better than last week. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to help support us, take a look at our shop down below. But yeah, have a good one.